my relationship with my in-laws, for me is different. It's not so well.
Hi, my name is Jen,
My name is Christian,
and
and
this
this is
is Love
Love
a
a
Little
Little
Podcast.
Podcast. Woo! What's going on, everybody? This is officially episode 6 of Love a Little Podcast. What's up? If you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like, which is a thumbs up because this video is gonna be super dope. Make sure you turn on your post notifications to be notified every time we post a new video and all that good stuff. Don't forget to drop comments down below while we're doing the podcast and after so we can look and respond to your comments. But without further ado, what are we talking about today? All right, so let's get straight into it. Do our families get along? Relationship with the in laws? Things like that. So, suegros, suegras, relationships. Let's get to it. All right, babe. Go ahead.
All right, since you guys have been asking, how is the relationship with our in-law? Well, with my dos suegros, and you guys want to know all the tea, so we're gonna give it to you guys. So, for me, no, I don't have any beef with them. You guys thought I was gonna say I don't get along with them, huh? That's what you guys are here. But no,
They want
we,
the cheese, man.
yeah, thank God we got really blessed with good in-laws, and I feel also a big thing though with in-laws is you have to set boundaries. I feel like you need to set your boundaries, and those boundaries need to be respected, and everything will be fine. Uh, you know, Christians and my relationship is ours and nobody else's. So my parents respect it, and his parents respect it. You know, um, maybe they don't agree with everything, which is okay. But as long as they don't get in, our relationship, then we have no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And as of now, we have those boundaries respected, and I feel like that's a big part of a relationship.
Yeah.
And I also feel that, you know, having that respect with your in-laws, and having that good relationship is very, very important. We might not see eye to eye every single time or for every little thing, which is okay, normal. Nobody sees eye to eye all the time, you know. But like I mentioned, thank God we do have a really good relationship. Christian with my parents. Well, I'll speak for myself. But we have a really good relationship, and I feel like that's very important. I know a lot of people might not agree with this, but for me, I just don't like bad blood or anything like that. Where if there's like situations where I don't feel, if there were to be like a situation where I don't feel okay, I just simply just, you know, and I'm not talking about like just in laws. I'm talking like in general. I think a relationship with your in law is very important. I know a lot of people who don't have great relationship with their in laws, and they're very unhappy and stuff like that. So I honestly just since the beginning, I told Christian like, I don't want there to be any bad blood between like our families or anything like that. And as of now, thank God, there isn't. I just feel that like when there's respect and stuff, it's just like, for example, for me, um, like let's say me and Christian's mom or dad didn't get along, and then Christian's in the middle, and that kind of sucks, because they're his parents, and then I'm his wife, so it's like we're it's like we were to have him choose, and I would never want that for him. And I always like tell him that like I would never want that for you. Like I would never want you to feel like uncomfortable where you feel like you have to choose, or where you feel like, oh, I can't talk to my parents because my wife's going to get mad, or stuff like that. So ever since the beginning, I told him like I just think it's really important to have that really um, clear communication and respect and boundaries. And I think that's that's pretty much what goes for me. I don't know about you. What do you feel about your
So
in-laws?
so my relationship with my in-laws, for me is different. It's not so well. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, for me, like I get along with her parents super super good, especially with her mom. Me and her mom get along really well. Obviously, we've bumped heads like before in the past, but for us, our situation is different. So I don't know if a lot of you may know, but me and Jen's mom are kind of like we're business partners, because we own like a business together and stuff like that. So we, it's a different type of relationship, but I see her every single day. So I see her more than she does.
Yeah.
So I see Jen's mom every single day. But we're super cool. We're always doing. We get along very well. We fool around, not to the sense of like disrespect or anything, but we do. We get along really well. But obviously as business partners, we do we have bumped heads in the past, but not in it's all just business related. Just because I want to do things this way, she might want to do things this way, and we might come into a disagreement. But at the end of the day, like she loves me, and I love her. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so our situation is different, but we get along very well. Me and Jen's mom, and then for Jen's dad, we get along very well as well. Um, it's more of like just a man to man relationship we got going on in the sense of just the minimal like, hey, how's it going, how are you, we talk very well. We do see him pretty frequent just because he lives a little further from us. But it's just obviously it's a lot different with her dad than what it is with her mom, because I see her mom every single day. I don't see her dad every single day, so it is different. But when we get together, it's always a good time. We go out to eat, we talk like regular things like that. But I don't joke around with him like I do with my suegra. It's just a different personality and different people. With my suegra, like we're like homies, like we're homies, but at the same time, like I make sure that we know that that's my suegra, and my business partner, and and yeah, so yeah, I get along with them both very well. At first, I would have to say her dad was very intimidating because he's kind of like serious and quiet, and he's like very protective of his daughter. So when I was first, like I would be around him, the vibe was definitely different. I would have to say I felt like he didn't. I mean, I wouldn't say he didn't like me. He was just like unsure of me. He was like, all right, what is his intentions? What does he want with my daughter? So it was definitely different at first. Suegro, but but nah. But then after that, he's seen that I took this serious, and I wanted to be with her, and I was I'm in love with her and things like that. So it definitely changed. Not that it changed, but it was like. But I think just like any other father, I mean, I'm sure I would be like that, probably even harder. But like it's his little girl, his little girl, and he's kind of like, like I gotta see what's up with you first. You look like a little tremendo. So, and I understand that 100% because I have a daughter as well. So, but other than that, we get along very well. We go out to eat all the time, and things like that. So our relationship, both Jen, myself, we get along with our in laws very well.
Yeah,
We've
thank
never
God,
had, yeah,
because
thank
oh my
God.
God, it would be such a
And I
nightmare.
think, yeah, and I think that is very important. Even if you have some type of hate or anything towards your in laws or anything, because I've heard of stories, I think it's just honestly just bite your tongue and just don't even go there. Because once you mess it up, I feel like that's it. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like there's no turning back, and you already ruined it. And it's like you just always got to be good with your suegros. And also back to what Jen was saying about like our relationship is our relationship, and I think that's why I think that's why it also has worked out with our suegros very well, because they don't get in our business. And I've heard previous stories in the past about like relationships where like the suegro or suegra wants to be all up in their business and like que
Mm-hmm.
esto y que el otro, and then the husband está chismeándole a la mamá all the problems that they have. So now the suegra doesn't like her because of what she's doing to the the son or vice versa and things like that. Remember, your problems, your struggles, or whatever is going on within you. Listen to this clearly. Whatever problems you and your significant other are having, keep it between you and your significant other, because remember, at the end of the day, you guys are gonna end up fixing it, and then you guys are gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
But them over there, they already heard the bad story. They're already like, nah. They're already like, oh no, I don't like her or I don't like him because so and so. And now
Yeah.
you guys are all good, but then the suegro's like, oh no, I don't like. She disrespected my son, or my son disrespected her, or like whatever the issue was. So keep it in between you guys. You don't need to be
Yeah.
telling everybody your business and things like that. So I think that's another very, very important thing, that keep your guys' problems between you guys and fix them between you guys. Don't be like, hey mom, so today freaking me and Jen, blah blah blah, or mom, me and Christian, blah blah blah. I think that's very important, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes a lot of couples run to their parents to tell them their problems, and I don't think
Yeah.
that's the way to do
Or
it.
not just the parents, but anybody. Like, if you guys fight for something so little and like dumb, and then you go and tell the whole world, and then now he looks like a bad person or stuff like that. It's like, and it's not even like that. So that's one thing that I do advise is like, whatever happens in your house, needs to stay in your house. Because sometimes it's not even like a big deal, and nobody's perfect. We're not perfect. We have disagreements. Um, but like he said, then especially like the parents, like they're like, oh, well, now they're not gonna like you because of something so little, something so insignificant. But yeah, I think setting those boundaries, it's very important. And another thing that I always say is like, do not live with your suegros. Like if you don't have to, and you can, like if that's your last resource, even like with my parents, like um if you have to, if you really can't, I get it, I understand. But like my advice to you, especially if like you guys are having kids, like do not live with your parents or your suegros. That's one thing that we have. We did live with my mom for 2 years, and I'm thankful for her for that, for helping us. Because we were struggling a little bit financially, and we wanted to get something of our own, and thank God we were able to do it. But like if you guys, I just feel your relationship is gonna be so much better. Like if you don't live with your suegros, like your relationship is gonna be 100% like way better. I understand that there's just some suegros you really can't deal with. I get that, but like especially not living with them is just gonna be better for you and your family, and for
The
for
relationship.
the
Hmm.
relationship.
Because I think at the end of the day, as humans, la gente se enfada. People get
Yeah,
annoyed. People get tired. And as much as they love their son, or they love their
yeah,
nuera, yeah, their nuera or whatever. Like la gente se enfada. Like imagine like living with the parents, and obviously it's privacy is everything, and I think it's like she mentioned. I know it sounds kind of like messed up or whatever, but it's just I think it's the best way to go, because yeah, living with someone and not living with them is definitely
very different.
very different.
Not just
Not that
that.
we had issues, because we didn't have any
No,
issues
we didn't.
when we were living at her
Yeah,
mom's. Everything was good, things like that. But I just think,
it's
like she
just
said,
better
it
if you
is
don't.
just better off if
Yeah.
you don't.
Not just that, but you're not always gonna be in the mood like to talk, or like what if you like in the room, you guys are having a discussion, disagreement or something, and
Exactly.
then you come out, and then like a person tells you like something that could be like insignificant,
Hmm.
and then that triggers you because you're already upset or something. I don't know. That's just something that I think, but
Yeah, so I
uh
think
huh.
that's a very good pointer right there that you mentioned.
Yeah. So
So if
that
you can,
if you
don't live with your
can, yeah,
suegros.
don't.
But
Or your
obviously,
parents,
if
like
it's like the only option you have and you're in a tough situation, then of course,
a
a little
hundred.
help or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's Better not.
Yeah, like us, I told Christian, I'm like, you know what? Let's just, when I got pregnant with Camila, I was like, you know what? We need to try and do this by ourselves, figure it out. If we really can't, then, we can, see what else we could do. And we did struggle. We struggled. And then
Oh yeah, we did.
when we moved into my mom's, we were actually already doing okay. But she kept insisting, right? And then that helped us to be even better to kind
Mm-hmm.
of, be able to get our own place and stuff. And then, I'm also very grateful to my suegros because, when we were struggling, they also helped us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They were always there for us and stuff like that. So, yeah, just have a good relationship. I know sometimes you just you have to bite your tongue and just to turn around or whatever you have to do. But I think it's very, very important. As long as they're not like obviously doing something like super messed up, like really messed up where they're not respecting you or stuff like that. I think a lot of the times, we could just bite our tongue and move along. Tomorrow's a new day. I feel like sometimes a lot of times people make something very little to like super big when it's really not that necessary. And um, yeah, just I don't know. What do you think? Like for example, I mean, I'm just saying because this is just what I've seen, what I've heard, and I just never wanted that for myself to where like I have to be in the middle or you have to be in the
Mm-hmm.
middle. You
Yeah,
get
I
what I'm
just think
saying?
it's not fair for the person, like she mentioned earlier. Like for example, say me and her mom or me and her dad weren't to get along. Now it's like we put her in a tough situation where it's like almost like, man, she has to almost pick sides. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it sucks for her because it's like that's my parents, but then it's
Mhm.
like that's my husband. So what do I tell my parents or what do I tell my husband? Whose side do I choose? And so it's better to avoid all that and just kind of like as long as you're keeping it cool or whatever. I think it'll work out just fine.
Again, I said as long as they're not like disrespecting you or your kids, I think there a lot of times you can just, ignore things and move it along.
So down below in the comments, ask us questions or how do you guys get along with your in-laws or questions you may have of certain situations you're in. We're not professionals, but if you want to hear an answer from us or what do we think, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know
I think it'll
because
be cool to just check these
yeah.
out.
All right,
But yeah.
then I think since we're talking about in-laws, so who goes first? Who goes in the front, me or your mom?
Ooh. All right, so that's a very hot question that I've seen also on social media. That is a cool question to ask because it's kind of like, ooh, it makes you think like what, who, depends. So the question she's saying is who sits in the front seat? If it's me, you, and my mom going somewhere, are the kids with us?
Well, it don't matter, but
Well,
who
it don't
goes
matter.
in the
So
front,
who
me
sits
or
in
your
the
mom
front?
or your
I
dad?
or no, oh yeah, or my dad. No, but I
But
think it's with the suegra. So it's like,
okay.
so if it's me, Jen, and my mom, who sits in the front? My wife sits in the front. But if, because you, like, I think the normal thing or the thing, the way it should go, I think usually the suegra knows where she would go. Like, oh, I'll
Not
sit
all
in the
of
back.
them.
I'll sit in the back seat or something. Or no, tú vete enfrente. When it's like that, then yeah. But who sits in the front seat? Oh man, see, well, my wife. My wife sits in the front
Oh,
seat. My wife sits in the front seat, but
why were you thinking about it so hard and then
because
you
I felt your pressure of your eyes.
how
No, I'm
I
just kidding.
literally just
No, look, I think the
you guys
correct,
seen
the
that?
correct. What?
You're like, oh man, that was hard, and then you turn to look at me, and you're like, oh, my wife. Like
Blink
if I
twice.
put a gun to your head or
Blink
something.
twice if you need help. No, but
um,
I think obviously, wife comes before everything. But I think it depends the situation. But I think the suegra will know their place. Um, like for example,
what
they're
like?
both gonna get in. Jen's gonna offer it to my mom
How do you know that?
because I know that.
No, but
Jen's gonna
okay, like
offer it to my mom, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, ¿quieres enfrente?" And then my mom's gonna be like, "No, tú vete enfrente." you know. So I think I don't ever
Okay,
really choose. It's always
this is my thing. Like to me, that has never ever been a big deal about like, oh, I need to go in the front or
mm-hmm.
like you. That's disrespectful. That has never even crossed my mind until now that I see like people always talking about it. It's like a big thing, right? Where like girls get mad because the mother-in-law goes in the front or whatever. To me, that has never been a problem or something that I'd be like, oh my gosh, I should be in the front. Like, no, never. But besides that, out of respect, like I was taught with respect. My parents brought me up, being super respectful to other people and stuff like that. Again, as long as they're respecting me, because once they disrespect me, then that's a different story. But I have always, like, when we're gonna ride in the car or something, like if my suegro or my suegra come with us, like I always offer the front seat out of respect towards them, you know? And a lot of times, like, they'll be like, no, it's fine. Like, you'll go in the front. But then a lot of times I tell them, like, no, you go in the front. I want to go in the back with the kids or something. But it to me, it's not a big deal. But just out of respect, I always offer the front seat to my suegra or my suegro, like, when they're riding with us. Unless they're both going or they don't want to or whatever. But most of the time they always want to go in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's an issue. Like I don't see it disrespectful or nothing like that. If anything, it's a sign of respect from me to them. That's the least that I could do. After they raised this handsome man, that's my husband now. You know. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Like,
No, I think
who
you
should
know what
ride
I
in the
just thought
front?
about when
Who
it's
should
my
ride in the
mom
back?
and my dad. Usually, my dad, like if they're riding with us, I think my dad sometimes sits in the front,
Yeah, your
and you go in the
dad.
back with my mom.
Yeah,
So my dad.
yeah.
So I think that, but
But
that's
it's
why
just
I
like,
was,
because
but
it's
that's
like
why I was
guy
saying,
thing,
but that's why I was saying like it depends because if it's my mom and my dad, usually sometimes my dad goes in the front and then Jen goes in the back with the kids and my mom. So it depends, I guess.
Yeah, like,
But what do you guys think? If it's just if it's just the wife and the mother-in-law, who goes in the front seat?
yeah. And I felt so bad because we drove out to Turlock like last month,
Which is a
and my
quite a distance.
mother-in-law was like car sick because she was all the way in the back, and I kept telling her like, are
Oh
you
yeah.
sure you don't want to come in the front? Like, you're getting so sick back there. And she was like, no, no, it's sí, está bien. I felt so bad because I was like, oh my god, she
My mom.
like didn't want to go in the front. I was just like, oh my god.
That
But
was
it was
funny.
kind of towards when we were like getting
Yeah, we're
there
already getting it.
already.
Yeah.
But
She.
still, I
So
was
that's how
like,
you know that my mom, she would just rather just sit in the back. She was literally
yeah,
car sick, throwing up in the back
yeah. I was
seat
like, oh my
because we were on
god,
a long road trip. And then Jen offered her like, "Oh, do you want to sit in the front?" And she was just like, "No, no, no. Like I'm fine. I'm fine."
yeah. And then it's funny because we didn't even know she was throwing up
She was so
until,
quiet, not even
yeah,
making
she was
noise.
super quiet, like we
Sorry,
didn't
mom, to
even
put your
hear.
business out there.
And then we're like, then we were like, wait, you were throwing up? She's like, yeah, the whole time. And we're like, oh my gosh.
My mom, she's so funny. But anyways, so yeah, so who sits in the front seat? The mother-in-law or the wife? Because I think it's different if it was the other way around because I don't think you're usually driving. And what am I going to be like? Oh, that's automatic. I'm sitting in the front. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'll let your mom sit in the front. I've done that.
Oh yeah.
I'll be like, no, you, like, I let my mother-in-law sit in the front. If I'm
Mhm.
not driving, I mean, it's rare because I'm always driving.
Again, it's like a sign of
Depend.
respect,
Hmm.
like, I mean, I don't know, to us, I think because we were
But even,
both,
no, even when I pick up, when we're with your mom, she sits in the front usually, and then you
yeah,
sit in the
I go
back.
in the back.
So when we pick up her
Again,
mom,
respect, like, I don't
it's
know,
just
that's just,
different, I think.
that's how we were brought up, right? Like
Like
respect.
I tell her like, venga
Um,
enfrente.
I don't
But it's
know.
because I think, like she offers it to my mom offers it to her. Me and her mom and vice versa, we're just very considerate of each other. So, like, we both kind of ask or they'll ask. And then, yeah, that's just kind of how it happens. But yes, comment down below.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think goes in the front seat?
Yep. And then I also know, or like people ask that, why do they always see like my family only and not really your family? So
So, yeah,
let's
I
talk
think the
about that.
next question, or more like the next topic overall, why do they see her family more than mine? Or here's another topic better. Like, whose side of the family do we go with on like holidays, or how do we know who to choose? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure this is like a big thing in relationships. Like, so for Christmas, whose side do you go to? Do you go to the wife's side of the families for holiday, or do you go with the husband's side of the family for the holidays? How do you guys do it out, over there
Yeah.
with you guys?
Also,
Comment down below.
remember, it's just not one family. You have two families, so you guys have to be considerate of your husband or wife or your partner or whatever. Like, don't be that. Don't be mean. But
All right.
anyways, so our families get along great. Back then, my suegro didn't work like the schedule he works now. So back then, him and my suegra used to come and spend the holidays with us, like Thanksgiving,
With
all the
her side of
holidays.
the family.
Yeah, with my side of the family. So Christian doesn't have any like family here. He only has like one uncle here. So they would always just kind of be like at home, just them, right? So then I started invited them like with my family because my family always gets together and like we like do something. So I started inviting them like, hey, why don't you guys come with us? Like, so we would go to Christian's parents' house first and have dinner like together, just us, and then we would leave to my with my
Like for
family.
Thanksgiving and stuff.
Yeah, like for Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, New Year's, and we used to always bring my suegros and his little brother, and his sister would come sometimes too, but cause she has her husband, so sometimes she would stay with her husband and stuff like
It's
that.
because
So
all of my family is not in California. They're all like in Washington or like Mexico and things like that.
yeah,
So just like my immediate, well, like my mom, my dad, and like an uncle and cousins that live here, but majority of our family is not here. So that's why we go with her family because
yeah.
she has a very big family and
Mhm.
they're,
And we're very united
yeah,
too.
very
Like
united.
we're
They all get together when
yeah,
it's like
we
a
all
holiday.
get
Like they
together for
all,
the holidays.
literally all of
Yeah,
them.
for like Mother's Day, for anything. But yeah, so that's pretty much why you guys always see more of like my family. Well, now because my suegro, he started well, he didn't just start it. He's been there for what, like 3 years now or something.
Hmm.
This new schedule at his job, and it requires him to work holidays and the weekends and stuff because that's when they're most busiest. So my suegra doesn't really like, she'll sometimes come for a little bit, but then she goes home because she doesn't really like to go out by herself, like knowing that my suegro's at work.
Hmm.
And then so that's pretty much why you guys don't see much of them as much anymore during the holidays, for that reason, not because we don't get along or because we don't
Or
invite
even
them
like
or
my
anything like
parents
that.
sometimes go to Mexico and they'll be out there or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so his parents and his mom works now too, like a law. So whenever they get like vacations, they rather just like go to Mexico, because my suegra still has her mom, so they try and see her like as much as they can and
Hmm.
spend time with her. So we completely understand that part. But yeah, so before when my suegro was able to, like, they would always come like to our stuff, but now it's a little different. They really can't as much. But like for the kids' birthday parties and stuff, they're always here. Um, but yeah, so that's the reason why you guys see more of my family.
Hmm.
Not
Just in
because,
case you guys
yeah,
wondered.
because I know a lot of you guys were asked like, why do you guys only see my family? So
I know
that's the
because people
reason.
were thinking like, and then that brings it back to the topic that we're talking about today. Like if our families get along, or why we only see a lot of like videos that we film that we're at like with her family and things like that. Well, that's the reason. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
and
pretty
then
much
and
the
then
reason.
also relationship with me and her family, as in her uncles and all that. I'm sure I've already said this plenty of times. Like I get along with her uncles like if they're my uncles. I think I talk to her uncles more than she talks to
Yeah,
her uncles and
that's
and
so
and
true.
her family and stuff.
Like I'll
Like
see missed calls from my uncle. I'm like, why are they calling you? Like I haven't. They never called me. Like
so yeah, I talk to their uncles a lot, and like I get along with them all very well, and her cousins, and just everyone so well. So Yeah, I think that's the beautiful thing about it. Like, cause you gotta remember when you marry your wife or your husband, you're marrying the whole family. Like, it becomes one family, and I just can't imagine like marrying someone who I would like not hate. I mean, I would hate their family or not like their family or not get
Mhm.
along with their family. I just wouldn't. I don't know. It just wouldn't be
That would
right.
just suck
Yeah, it
like
would
so
suck. It
bad,
could work
you
out.
know?
I'm sure it could work out, but it's gonna suck because imagine in like during holidays or things like, nah, we'd rather stay home, or no, we just won't go, or like it just it's not cool, you know.
Yeah. You know,
So
that's
be
like
cool with your
I'm so
family.
glad that
Fix
like
things. Make that phone call. Don't be don't be what do you call it? Be the first one to make that call and say sorry or something if you guys are not getting along.
yeah,
Jesus.
be the bigger
Be
person.
the bigger person. Come
Um
on, we only live once.
yeah, I just can't imagine like living a life like that where you know we can't even like have a cordial dinner with our families because you know there's so much beef, you know. I'm so glad that we don't have that, which is unfortunate for those who do have that. I'm sorry, you know, we're not talking bad. I'm just saying, you know, it just sucks like when you can't have that because
Hmm.
we're very family oriented, me and Christian. And I think honestly, I think like that's a big thing for us that we're very family oriented. That like we can't imagine our life not being like that.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like I don't know, but
But I think it works because we both think the same way, you
yeah, I
know.
think if one of us didn't thought different, like oh, it would be like
Hmm.
chaos. But
But yeah, that's I think that's it for this episode. That concludes this episode.
I
That
feel
is,
like we talked a lot.
woo, we were going and
Uh,
going. This was a nice little topic. And I think it was cool because, a lot of people wonder, obviously we only share so much on social media. We share, not as much as our life is on social media. There's a lot of stuff that we don't talk about. And that's why we have this podcast to go more in detail to
mm-hmm.
answer your guys' questions. So I hope that covered the
Wait, did we
whole.
say the holiday one?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, we did, huh? Yeah, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, I hope that covered your guys' questions for our relationship with our families, with our in-laws. Do we get along? Yes, we do. Be cool with your family, and I think everything will be fine. Remember, if you're the one that messed up, make that phone call. If they're the ones that messed up, still make that phone call. Let them know
Yeah.
that you want to keep things cool and move
Well,
forward.
yeah.
So,
Remember, tomorrow's never promised, so don't let another day go by and be like, man, I wish things would have changed, or I wish you know it would have been different. You
call your
know,
suegra or your suegro, you don't get along, and let them know
yeah.
that you love them.
Or
So,
move out. You know, whatever is gonna bring peace into your life. Nothing better than living in peace. Like honestly, like nothing better than that.
mhm. All
Yep.
right. So yeah, that is episode 6 on relationships with our in-laws and our families, and that concludes today's episode. Thank
Remember,
you all. Thank
remember.
go.
And remember, let us know what you guys want to hear next. What do you guys would like us to cover, talk about? Let us know in
In
the
the comment
comments down
section,
below.
because we are looking at them and we are using these to consider and or put in the episodes. So yeah, comment down below, and that is it. So don't forget to
Love
love
a
a
little.
little. Peace.
Bye.